Welcome back to our husband versus wife series of the Naked Ninjas podcast. And today's topic is very exciting for us. We're going to do dogs versus cats, where I'm going to be supporting dogs as the best pets out of the two options. And my wife Kira here is going to be supporting kitty cats. Yeah, exactly. So let the debate begin. You go.
Okay, we'll start from the top. Cats are much, much cheaper both to buy and adopt.
Oh, well, that depends on the cat, right?
Oh, on average.
On average, possibly that is true. Well, that's because cats are so much worse as pets that naturally they're cheaper because they do not possess too many redeeming qualities. It's the same as like, you want to buy a bad car, which is gonna be annoying to you and breaking down all the time and smell. Or you want to buy a nice luxury, cool car. It's kind of similar in a way. You pay for quality of a pet.
It's not even an argument. So basically, I want this one. Cats are cheaper to buy.
What do you mean? Okay, no, you're saying cheap. I'm saying they're cheaper for a reason, right? They're cheaper because they're worse pets. It's the same as like you either buy a coffee in a good coffee shop or a bad coffee shop, right? One is good, the other one is bad. So
it's going to be a counter-argument for literally everything.
Expensive alcohol? No, but in this particular case, it's a good argument, right? And besides the one more, I think for the coolest dogs, the price is expensive, but for the coolest cats as well, it can be even more expensive than
on average,
dogs.
It's much, much cheaper.
Well, yeah, on
to
average.
buy both to adopt, funnily enough.
Well, yeah. True, that is true, but there is a reason for that, and that is cats are not as good as pets as dogs.
Okay,
so, yeah,
you won't be able to get away with this by every single of my recommend. Okay, second one, we're kind of starting from the top. Insurance for cats is so much cheaper than for dogs. Pet insurance.
I haven't checked those numbers, so like I don't know. I don't believe you, but I just don't.
What's happening?
Like maybe you made those numbers up. Okay, like do you have them from the top of your head? What's the difference?
I think the triple, basically the number for dogs. I think it's 2K a year or 3K a year, and for cats maybe 700 a year.
Okay, so it comes back to the same argument that the cats are cheaper. So it's in the same category,
but
right?
It's piling on.
Well, it's piling on to the same argument that they are cheaper. Okay, they're cheaper because they're shitty pets. Fair enough.
That's
you wanna have a premium pet, you buy a dog.
That's going to be argument for every single one.
No, for the money part. For the money part. I'm sure you have some other arguments.
Oh, I have a lot. Okay, those are two in your loss. Those third one, you're not going to need a cat sitter while you need a dog sitter. Yes, it's money, of course. It's a lot of money, but also that's a lot of hustle. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of emotional investment because you need to find that dog walker. You need to trust them. You need to be constantly in touch with them. And it's still stressful, because they're usually walking like 6 dogs at the time. It doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's a lot of money, but it's also like worrying, it's also spending your time, and it's permanent. Unless your dog will be sick and they won't be leaving the house. So you know that you will be doing this for years and years and years. While with cat, 99% of cases, you're not going to need a cat walker.
You're not going to need a cat walker, but you will still need someone to go check up on your cat.
Well, if you're at work and you left at 8, you're coming back at 6, no, you're not going to need...
Same for the dog.
No,
no,
you're gonna leave your dog at home.
No, like if you walk the dog in the morning and then walk it right after work, and if the dog is well trained, I think you're gonna be fine. Also,
you're gonna be horrible pet owner. People, don't sell your pets to this person because a dog needs to. No.
But what if you have a garden?
No.
Most people who have dogs would have a sizable space for them to live in, like a garden. If it's a small dog, again, maybe there is a dog toilet. I'm not so sure. For the small dog.
No. You have to walk your dog, otherwise it will be sad. It will be depressed.
So you're gonna walk
sick dog. So basically, all of the qualities. The reason why I wanted a dog, because they wag the tail, because they're friendly, because they're nice. All of that is gone because your dog. That dog is locked inside of the house, and you're horrible person.
Why inside of the house? Why can't it just run around in the yard?
Because it doesn't work. We're talking mostly about the UK, like Western world. We're not talking about
No, we're
farms
talking in general.
or...
We're talking in general.
Oh my god, we're talking about realistic stuff, right?
And anyone who's like not prepared for the challenges of having like, for example, a dog walker if they live in the apartment, then they shouldn't get a dog. That's
No.
in the first place.
You can't leave your dog outside because there are so many dangers. Fox can get in there, and that's very real in London. A big bird can actually, I'm not even making this up, a very big bird can grab your dog if it's very small, like a mini Dachshund.
But there's a dog house. How are they gonna grab it?
Oh, you mean you're gonna lock the dog inside of the dog house?
No.
So
what do you mean? So well, there are dangers everywhere. They can in the house, the cat can jump on the stove and burn to death, for example,
that's
like
stupid
by
as
turning it off.
dogs.
Oh wow. No, the cats are the ones with all of the funny videos where they jump into the ceiling fan, for example, and get mauled, or jump off the balcony, or
and
like,
they
jump off to the bird.
And they leave most of the cats. And I know them. My aunt has had like 7 cats, and they lived, I think, in the 11th floor. They all jumped. They're all fine because that's a cat.
Yeah,
another reason to have a cat.
I've seen those cats too, and they get traumatized, and they even less sociable than cats normally are. After this, but
the dog is dead, so less sociable versus dead.
Yeah, but the dog doesn't. The dog doesn't jump off the balcony like a crazed animal.
First of all, they do, and some dogs are very stupid. They can just fall. They don't need to jump specifically. Right now, we're talking about there is no need for a cat walker. And there is always a need, unless you're a horrible person, for a dog walker.
Okay, which comes back again to the argument of paying for something.
It's just not paying.
If you can't afford to look after the dog, and that doesn't go only for a dog, it goes for any pet. If you're buying a pet which requires certain care, if you're not prepared to pay for it, then you shouldn't get that pet. That applies to everyone. So this argument of money, I give you that. Fine, the dogs are more expensive to buy, to care for, and so on. That is true, right? But that is because that is a premium, better pet, and that's why those expenses are justified. If you are a person who buys a pet and you can't afford to care for it properly, right, then you shouldn't get one, period. That's all.
But it's not just the money, and we discuss it. This is massive time and emotional investment. You need to find a dog walker. You need to be letting in that person to your house, trusting that person.
Yeah.
And you will know every time that your dog is out there with 6 other dogs, like you can't control this. So it's a lot of emotional weight, and you're getting a dog probably because you're a little bit stressed, because you need, something like, emotional support when and it kind of starts to, outweigh that, because yes, you're paying, but you cover that. But it's also constantly thinking that, and those dog walkers, they're probably not going to stick. So you'll have to change them. You'll need to start for a new one. And then you might hear from neighbor, oh, well, your dog walker, actually, they were just smoking like for 40 minutes and all of the 7 dogs didn't even move. So it's a lot of trust that you will have to in one person. There is a lot of time to find them, and there is a lot of time to communicate with your dog walker. And that's every day.
No. If you're efficient with your time, you can set all of those things up relatively quickly, and just like with any other service provider, you can find a good one just as easily as you can find a bad one. And if you know what you're doing, I don't see that as a big problem, considering all of the benefits the dogs provide. But you touched on a few things here, which I want to follow up on. So if we go with, again, dogs versus cats, and one of them, for example, say you gotta actually go and meet someone and talk to somebody. One of the advantages of dogs over cats, and I think it's an important one for many people, is that it actually improves your social life, but and does not detract from it. You don't often hear died and was eaten by his dog. It's like died and eaten by his cats, right? I'll let me finish here. So the dogs, by default, because you need to walk them like 2-3 times a day, because there is like bunch of other people walking around with their dogs constantly. This promotes social activity. You meet other dog parents as they call each other, you like socialize. Even we met some of our very good friends through again through socializing via dog. Actually, several times that happened. And cats, they just sit at home and staring at you from time to time, and yeah, they don't provide any social benefits unless you go for some cat beauty contest, which is again a very niche kind of thing for people, I would say. So yeah, I think dogs are by default improve your social life.
That is if you want that part of your social life. What if you just want to be left alone? And this will not be an option. If you're walking a dog, there will be plenty of other dog walkers, and you're quite right. Yes, they will come to you, they will talk to you. But what if you don't want them? Because if you will keep kind of dismissing them or say, yeah, I'm fine, you will have a reputation of a crazy, rude person, and you will feel very awkward next time you're kind of with them, because yes, they will be there pretty much at the same time. What if you don't want to improve your social life? What if you're really fine as you are? You just want peace and quiet.
No, it's fair enough. You can have your peace and quiet, but I think if you're constantly, never-endingly have a problem of speaking to people you don't know, and sometimes even to people you know, that is a good sign that you have some mental health issues, which again, first of all, being sociable helps. And having an icebreaker like a dog again helps. So you can get into more social interactions, which has been proven to improve people's longevity, is the strength of our social connections, right? So if the dog helps you with that, this is yet another boost that pet gives you. Not just like improving your mood and giving you more friends and having increasing your social circle. It actually directly impacts your mental and physical health.
Yeah, well, first of all, physical, I mean, you just can go on a jog. You don't need a dog for that. And coming back to the social aspect, yeah, and again, my counter-argument stays, what if you don't need to improve your social life? What if you socialize for work or for other activities? You might even work in charity, do guitar lessons.
Yeah.
You may not need that. And also, again, on the downside, when I was walking our neighbor's dog, you come across a lot of crazy dog people, and the bad thing, it's not like once in a lifetime, they will be there because you probably end up walking the dog time. And there was a poodle guy, Poodle,
yeah.
guy. I was very scared of him because he was creeping. He was coming to me. Every time he saw me, he was like, walk my poodle. Do you want to walk my poodle? Well, you're laughing.
Are you sure he was talking about his dog?
I wasn't by the end because I was walking, remember the Booba? I've been walking him for quite a while, for weeks, for months. And that guy was there every second day. I was scared. And it's fine on like maybe, summer night when it's light, a lot of people. If it's winter, it's dark, it was scary. I was terrified to go and walk Booba. And you will end up meeting those.
Yeah, come on.
You don't need that kind of social
you can
activity.
meet crazy people without dogs whatsoever. That's a non-argument to me, because you come across crazy, unstable people everywhere at any point. Like you said, you can go for a run. You can meet crazy people there without any dogs. You go to the gym, you meet crazy people there all the time as well. It's like having a dog, actually, at least if you have a dog and it's a sizable dog especially, it might actually protect you from crazy people at some point. Even, by the way, that's another argument, yeah. Dogs, unlike cats, actually can provide some protection. The big ones, naturally, because it's a big dog and it can fight someone off or guard again your place. Even if it's a small one, and for instance they live in your apartment, they can provide the noise and warn you about something. Again, what is cat gonna do? The burglar can come to your house, like kill you, take you apart, and the cat will just meow and take any food from him. Like he can go scratch his ear, and he's gonna be just fine, and like go and lick your blood off the floor.
I'm so glad you walked into that.
Okay,
because let's be realistic. We're not living on a farm. The vast majority of people, and right now they live in the city and they have small dogs. The burglar will actually take your dog too, because that dog on the black market will be at least 3K. This is it. Now your dog is gone if the burglar went in.
No, but we're talking about when you're at home and the burglar went in. That's when the protection kicks in.
What? The small Dachshund, a Cocker Spaniel, they're not going to protect you from shit. You will have to be protecting them,
No,
Alex.
but they can protect you by like alerting you.
Alerting you, I'm pretty sure in one bedroom apartment you will hear the burglar. The second you will hear your dog.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If they're like slowly opening the lock, not necessarily you will hear them, but the dog will always know that there's someone behind the door.
Yeah,
as well.
And also dog will normally always bark when somebody's passing the door, so you will be just...
Depends on how well trained it is. If you don't provide the right training for your pet, maybe you shouldn't get one because you're putting your pet in danger.
Listen, the burglar comes in and your dog is gone and it's been sold on a black market to another probably innocent, like good-looking, nice guy, because they wouldn't know where the dog came from. This is it. That's your story.
But that's so you think the burglar comes in, grabs the TV, all the other stuff, and then runs around trying to catch the little dog?
It's more expensive than any TV. They're like 4K mini Dachshunds.
Yeah, you really need to know how to sell it. And then, okay, you're in the apartment building, right? One thing is to carry out stuff that doesn't bark or squeal and some other stuff. But no, someone's gonna break into the apartment, run around after that Dachshund, trying to get them from under.
It's one bedroom. That's
but still,
bedroom.
And it's a quick dog, yeah, who's gonna yap and bark and bite your fingers and hide under the couch.
It's a small dog.
Alert the neighbors, for example. And the neighbors might again call the police, yeah. And the cat in all of that situation would be just watching from the cupboard and clearly rooting for the burglar because they don't give a shit about anyone.
Your
but
mini
themselves.
Dachshund just gone because it's so much easier to grab a mini Dachshund than at your big ass TV.
I wonder how they're gonna deal with a Rottweiler though.
Rottweiler is a different thing, but they're going to grab a mini dog. And most of people in the city own mini dogs.
What about not people in the city? And even if it's the people in the city, again, it's not that easy. Not all burglars are that sophisticated. And that actually, generally, burglars won't try to do that because it just increases their risk. It increases the risk of discovery. And unless it's like some crazy person, again, who just doesn't care, then... you can run across those
Poor
anywhere.
old Alex, do you know that in London, in the UK, there is actually massive black market for Dachshunds? And that's a true story.
Yeah,
and they're not just being snatched from the apartments, they've been snatched on the street. Like, you look away, they just cut the leash. The leash, and this is it. And it's gone. And they're going for 4K.
But they actually come into the apartments to steal them.
Well, they might as well, if they manage to break in an apartment.
What do you mean might as well? So do they or do they not?
Well, I haven't heard about that.
So
but what not? You've seen jewelry, you've seen money, you've seen a teeny tiny defenseless dog. You're taking a dog.
Unless you actually have some kind of statistics or proof that you've read, that doesn't count. You are speculating here. And purely speculating. So if you want to talk about people stealing dogs on the street, yeah, for sure, by all means.
Which is another argument. You can't, because you're not walking a cat and they're not expensive, nobody's going to steal them.
Okay, that's a risk you can take with any good stuff. Again, right? If you have a nice watch, someone will try to steal it. You have a nice car, there's a good chance someone will try to steal it. You have a nice bike, exactly the same thing. Which is just another argument, say never get good stuff because someone might steal it.
Yeah, but you can choose which stuff to get.
Yeah, you can choose which stuff to get, and considering that the dog provides a bunch of mental health benefits, social security, among other things.
What kind of security are you talking about?
Again, like a security for a flat, like I said, if it's a big dog, security everywhere, right? That again gives...
So your big ass TV and your dog are gone. Let's move to the next one. I'm so glad you brought up the noise, because the dogs fucking bark. And and neighbors will be mad. And we had the dog situation here. The whole building had this WhatsApp group. Basically, the dog will bark when they're alone, and your neighbors will be unhappy. I mean, your concierge or whatever. You might get complaints. You might get in a big fights and so on. I've never heard about noise complaint about a cat.
Noise complaint about a cat?
Yeah, never.
Yeah. Fine, maybe no noise complaint about the cat. If you train your dog well, they're not gonna bark everywhere. Again, you might have a problem with your neighbor's dog, for sure. Yeah, that can happen, but that's not under your control, right? If you are an owner who's like takes care of their pets, you will train them not to bark randomly.
Why are you
Right?
so sure that your dog will be very trainable? Not all dogs are easy to train. It's usually the bigger dogs who are easy to train, and it's very hard to get a big dog in the city.
Yeah, but like you should train your dog either way, right? And again, that any kind of disadvantage from them barking sometimes comes with the advantage of them barking when they can warn you
Yeah,
of danger.
especially when you are at work and your
They
dog
can-
has
they
been
can warn
barking
you
for
for a
8
gas-
hours straight.
They can warn you of a gas leak, for example. Again, they can warn you of someone being.
We don't even
being
have
around.
gas. How many
yeah,
people
yeah.
have gas?
Like many people have gas.
Most of people have electricity now.
Oh, come on, right?
Well,
come
not
on.
in a cave age. Like
No, again, we're talking general. First of all, you're focusing on just one like big city. That's not really an argument. We're talking in general, cats versus dogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of people who live in the bigger places. There's a bunch of people who have gas in their apartments, for example. There's a bunch of people who might have a tree which is about to fall on their house, and again, that's something that dog can sometimes warn of. Of earthquakes, again, dogs can warn you of that. The cat will just.
Okay, by the way, you lost that one. And also,
that's not the way to follow
cats-
the argument. Let the audience decide, right? You keep repeating that. I don't think I did.
because all of your argument is yes, because you're buying good stuff and you're supposed to pay for good stuff.
Yeah.
Your argument doesn't really change, it's just the wording that does, and that's cheating.
No, it's not cheating because you are using your arguments come to the same kind of funnel all the time.
It's very, very different argument.
No, it's
Well, the
not.
contra-argument is always, yeah, the good stuff is expensive. You need to pay,
No,
babe. Like,
Not
yeah.
really. Not
Yeah.
really. Yeah, and no, if your arguments were about how the dogs are expensive, how it's expensive to care for them, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, someone might steal it. That all talks about expensive stuff.
no, it's also extremely time-consuming, and given that many people get dogs to kind of to help them deal with their emotions, with
Yeah.
stress, this just piles on to the stress.
No, not necessarily, and I'll tell you why. First of all, talking about like time. One of the things is like, what do you do with your time, right? One of the what does cat promote you doing with your time? Sitting on a couch, stroking the cat, stuffing yourself with some shit, and watching telly, right? What does dog promote you doing? Going for a walk, like I said. You have to walk the dog. You can't escape it. How about getting your steps in? Maybe going for a run with the dog. Maybe going for a cycle with the dog, right? Again, that's promoting healthy lifestyle, unlike the cat. Yeah. So that's what you're doing with your time when you have a dog.
Well, first of all, you can go on a run with your Who are you to say you can't go?
You can, but with a dog you have to.
And you can go on a bike with your cat, you just throw it in a backpack. No problem. Okay, cat, while you're watching the TV mentioned, by the way, it's your choice to stuff with yourself with shit.
Yes, that's true.
You can do the same thing with the dog.
True.
Cat's purring actually reduces the stroke chance by 40%, and this is a fact. I did not make it up. You can Google it afterwards. Well, dog will be like, row, 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 row. That actually increases the chance of stroke by 40%.
By 40%, exactly.
Yes. Well, that's
Of
the
the dog's barking.
No, but the cat purring, like.
Yeah, but then you said the.
Oh no,
the
this
dog's
is my
barking.
speculation. If your dog is barking all the time,
Back
that
to
probably
speculation.
increases the chances of
right,
stroke.
but at the same time, and that's also a fact, the dogs are considered to be the support animals, way better than cats are, because the dogs are way more empathetic and emotional, and just, well, unlike cats, they actually love you. The cat tolerates you, the dog loves you, and that's a very different kind of attitude, right? And like I said before, you can train the dog, and the cat kind of trains you, really, in the end of the day.
Which is not a bad thing. But someone does.
He trains you in a bad way. He trains you in a bad way. The dog trains you, just like you said, coming back to your arguments, right? It teaches you to manage your time better. It teaches you to get your workout, even the light workouts in. It teaches you to be healthier. And at the same time, it also supports your emotional health just by being there. It promotes good habits just by being a dog. The cat promotes laziness by just being a cat. And like the cats are always so just they're ignoring you most of the time. The dog is always happy to see you.
And how can you figure out the cat promotes laziness? You can state that they don't promote light exercise, but how would you prove that they promote laziness? No.
Well, because you come there, you have the cat, you want to spend time with your cat, you want to hear their purring, purring, sorry. Yeah, purr. No, that's something different. Anyway, they don't implore you to go outside. With the dog, you have to. But I think we're going around.
Yeah,
here.
because anyway, where I was. Oh, okay. Cats are actually very good, and that's again a fact. You can Google it afterwards. Cats are very good at training themselves to go to the cat toilet. They're very good at doing them because they're very clean. And for dog, you actually have to really, 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 really train them, and they literally enjoy crapping everywhere. Cat is very self-sufficient in a way. They are clean in a natural way, so they will go to cat toilet. You barely need to train them.
I don't know. Maybe there is statistics which support that. I'm sure I Google, but I honestly know way more people, and I've had my own experience because I had a cat at some point for quite a few years, and no, the cats are terrible in this, or can be terrible, and I've heard more complaints from people about that. Probably statistics don't support that, but the cats can, again, shit everywhere, can pee in loads of places, which they randomly pick, and usually it's the ones which are going to be really hard to get out, especially male cats, right? And especially unless you, I think you have to castrate them or something for that not to happen, right? And they also, again, much better at ruining your furniture and your walls, again, than the dogs are often. So yeah, not necessarily. Maybe in general, yes, on average, dogs, I don't know, crap more and not use toilets more. But if you have a cat which is like this crazy misbehaved and so on, from what I've heard and from personal experience, they're way more damaging than the dog. Again, because the dog is trainable in the end of the day. It's generally trainable. The cats generally don't give a shit. They shit, but they don't give a shit.
On average, I would say dogs make as much damage, but not because of crapping, but on average, they destroy.
But you can train it out of them. Out of cat, you can train nothing.
In theory, you can. So in terms of destroying the furniture, we've had a dog. Once, unfortunately, he died. We had to change every single carpet, every single blanket. It was a Dachshund. And we tried. We did our best to train him. We took him to school. He did nothing.
There are exceptions to every rule, but in general, dogs are highly trainable. The cats are not.
In general, I would say ratio, like how much furniture and carpets cats and dog destroy, in all honesty, that's 50-50. I think both destroy equal amount of furniture and Christmas trees.
Possibly,
yeah.
But you can train the dog. You can't really train a cat. Maybe in some specific cases, if you work in a circus and you're like godlike in training animals, yeah, you can make a cat do crazy stuff.
You can train a dog.
In generally, the dog is trainable, the cats are not.
Well, if dogs were that trainable, well, how do you get all the millions of videos of the dog who's, they ate the pillow and there is fur everywhere?
But people love it. And again, not everyone properly trains their dogs, right? First of all. And we've seen the dogs who are highly trained as well. So for every one of those, there are dogs that are really well behaved because their like parents really go for making sure that they were trained primarily for their own safety. Yeah, and with cats it's not the case. And I think the ultimate argument here, generally, I think for the dogs, is that the dogs actually care about you.
Okay,
yeah? That's I know we're coming back to it, but that's probably one of the most important things about the pet and why you're getting a pet is to be not just needed by someone, but for someone to actually be even happy to see you any time of the day. You come in home and the dog will be just jumping at you and happy to see you and be like just so excited for you just being there. You might get a glance from the cat who will say that you're late by 10 minutes. I haven't eaten yet.
Well, first of all, some dogs will do that. I'll give you that. Some dogs, as you know, we've dog sat quite a few dogs. How many of that did that? Just Booba. None of the other dogs did that. They behaved exactly like a cat. So it's really, really not
exceptions to every rule.
What I mean, to the dogs I said, why the Borrow My Dog app, 70% of dog gave shit about you. Okay, and second one, when you say dogs are empathetic, how do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know your cat isn't empathetic?
No, that's again, if you're talking about research, you can Google that or ChatGPT.
But how do you
dogs are more empathetic.
Research doesn't matter. It matters,
if the research doesn't matter, in this case, on personal experiences at least, you would find that when you are sad, and that comes from me owning both a dog and a cat, right? Several dogs. And several cats, yeah. But when you are, for instance, just feel down or sad, the dog would always come and put their head on your knee, right? I've had it, and just look into your eyes and just be there for you to just be with you. The cat only comes and bounces around your leg when he wants something from you, right? And has been my experience, at least with dogs and cats. That's honestly not just because I'm arguing for the dogs, yeah. And that's just my personal experience. And again, from what I've read, the dogs are generally more empathetic and more connected to humans.
Some cats do that too. Not every cat, but again, not every dog will be happy to see you. Not every dog will be empathetic. A lot of cats will come and sit on your lap, maybe because they just want to sit on something warm and comfortable. Yeah. How do you know that, and why? Does it really matter?
No, just again, if we're talking personal experience here, there was a pattern when you felt like you needed support, the dog would just randomly come over, stand up, come over, and put the head on your knees. How did you
know it was intentional? How did you know it wasn't random?
Because there was multiple situations like that, right? And that just happened, right? And the cat would generally, you can cry in the corner. Like being completely depressed, and the cat would just be sitting there trying to ignore you as much as he can.
No, your source of food, they would care about you. They would come.
No, like I said, when they are hungry, they will come and they will be very nice to you and so on. But if they're not,
No. If they're not hungry, cats are actually very smart. So if they're not hungry yet, but they see the source of food is in distress, they might come.
Great. So that's a great point in this case, right? Cats see you as a source of food. So if you stop feeding them, for example, they'll be the first ones to probably eat your brains as well. But it's not that. They see you as a source of food. They don't see you as a friend. They don't see you as someone that they love. I'd rather, again, for my, in this case, personal preference, if I get a pet, I'd rather have a pet who's a friend rather than a pet who sees me as a source of food, and that's it.
Yeah, but first point, well, don't stop feeding them. Second one, you don't have to necessarily see them as a friend. You might see them just as a fluffy pillow that you need to feed once in a while.
Oh, get a fluffy pillow. We're talking about buying a live animal, right? And again, personal preference. I'd rather have a creature who's happy to see me, right? And that goes for people, of course. You prefer to see people who actually want to see you. That goes for me for pets as well. Maybe some people a lot of people will disagree. They want a fluffy, a live pillow, right? Who will purr at them. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that.
It will not want to see you. It will be okay seeing you. And it's, by the way, speaking of low maintenance, you don't need to bathe them pretty much. While dogs, you have to bathe a lot. Cats, very, very rarely.
Yeah, but again, fine. Again, the cats promote laziness and lack of discipline. Right?
They promote health relaxation.
The dogs can also promote the same healthy relaxation and can sit with you especially like you said, if it's a small dog, they can sit with you on the couch and watch the telly. They can totally do all of those things that the cats do, right? But in that respect, but they also promote discipline. They promote a healthy lifestyle, promote time management. All of this thing promotes your social circle, and I would say that all of those advantages far outweigh their like not so many disadvantages. And especially again, if we're talking about the price, coming back to the first part, is that it's like, what kind of quality do you want? You either want mediocre or low quality, and then you pay less and you are at less risk, or you buy a great pet who loves you, who promotes all of those good things in your life, and for whom, yes, you pay a premium, and your risk for losing that pet for burglary, for instance, increases.
You're not just paying premium, first of all, you're probably paying the money you would have used for your vacation. But I think we're running...
Yeah,
I think,
true.
yeah. I think it's very clear that I've won Alex. Very clear that we're getting a pussycat.
A pussycat. Well, yeah, we might get some pussy in the end of the day. Yeah. The What? Anyway, guys, let us know who you think won the debate. As you can see, I haven't researched enough, but I still think I was a strong contender. So let us know what kind of debate you would like to hear next. And thank you very much for watching. Oh yeah, before we forgot, do let us know who do you prefer, cats or dogs, and why. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.